Hello, listeners. Welcome to Whisper Tales. Today's story is Business Partners Betrayal, From Trust to Treachery. James Carter and Daniel Hayes had built their software startup, Inseparable, from the ground up. What started as an ambitious idea in a cramped garage had turned into a promising enterprise, attracting investors and making waves in the tech industry. They had been best friends since college, complementing each other's strengths. James was the creative visionary, while Daniel handled the business operations. But behind the scenes, greed lurked in the shadows, ready to shatter their partnership. James sat at his desk late one night, skimming through Innovex's financial records. His stomach twisted as he noticed something strange: large sums of money being siphoned off into an unlisted account. As he traced the transactions, his heart pounded. It all led back to one name: Daniel Hayes. A sickening realization washed over him. Daniel had been embezzling company funds, slowly draining Innovex's resources. But as James dug deeper, he found something worse. Daniel had secretly filed a patent for their groundbreaking AI software, claiming sole ownership. Instead of confronting Daniel outright, James decided to play along. He needed proof beyond doubt. He began subtly testing Daniel, asking vague questions about finances and watching his reactions. Each time, Daniel grew more defensive, dodging or changing the subject. It was all the confirmation James needed. One evening, James left a forged document on Daniel's desk, claiming an investor had noticed irregularities in the books and wanted a full audit. He watched from the shadows as Daniel frantically grabbed his phone, making a hushed call. James smirked. His trap was working. Determined to outmaneuver Daniel, James spent the next week preparing. He copied Innovex's source code and encrypted it, leaving behind a decoy version. He contacted their investors, subtly warning them about potential changes in leadership. And most importantly, he reached out to a tech journalist, anonymously leaking hints about a corporate scandal in the making. Then he made his move. James scheduled a last-minute meeting with Daniel in their office, acting oblivious. As they sat across from each other, James pulled up an email on his laptop. "I just got this," he said, feigning confusion. "It's from our bank, questioning some unusual transactions." Daniel's face paled. I can explain." Before he could, the office doors swung open. Two forensic accountants, along with an attorney James had hired, stepped in. "Mr. Hayes, we need to discuss some financial discrepancies," one of them said. Caught off guard, Daniel stammered. "This is ridiculous. James, you believe these people over me." James leaned forward, voice calm but laced with steel. "I trusted you for years, Daniel. Now I trust the facts." Daniel, realizing he was trapped, changed tactics. "Fine," he snarled. "You want to play dirty? You'll regret this." He pulled out his trump card, a contract showing he had sold Innovex's AI technology to a rival firm. "I own the patent," he sneered. "You have nothing." James simply smiled. "Check again." With a few keystrokes, he revealed the updated patent records. Daniel's name was gone. The patent had been transferred to James. Daniel's smirk vanished. "How?" James leaned back. "Let's just say I had a few legal adjustments made before you did." Within days, Daniel's world crumbled. Investors pulled out. The board of directors removed him from his position. And worse, the tech journalist James had tipped off ran a damning exposé. Daniel's reputation was in ruins, his once promising future reduced to dust. Meanwhile, James reclaimed control of Inseparable. But he wasn't done yet. James visited Daniel one last time in his empty penthouse. "You thought you were clever," he said, tossing a thick envelope onto the table. "That's a lawsuit. Fraud, embezzlement, and intellectual property theft." Daniel's hands trembled as he opened it. "You can't do this." James smirked. "I already have." Months later, James stood in his new office, watching Innovex's stock rise. The company was thriving under his sole leadership. He had recruited a new team, one he could trust. Daniel, meanwhile, was a disgraced man, facing legal battles and financial ruin. His name was synonymous with betrayal, while James had become a symbol of resilience and justice. As a final act of revenge, James acquired the rival company Daniel had tried to sell their AI to. He dismantled it, erasing every trace of Daniel's influence. James gave one last look at the framed Innovexa logo on his wall. He had lost a friend but gained something far greater: wisdom, power, and the knowledge that true justice is served best with patience. "You played the game, Daniel," James murmured to himself. "But I played it better."